Hello, welcome to Matt Pilates on this Halloween week, at least that time of recording. So if you're a music person, I'm doing licensing. I can't play fun music for my classes, but I do have a recommendation for all the holiday downloads on my website in the resources section, maryhowardlefo.com. So find your favorite Halloween playlist and have that going in the background, and we will get started. So today we're going to have fun, some different things with the band. There are, if you're interested in getting a band but don't quite have one, you can get kits that have light, medium, and heavy. So just know that different resistance bands are out there. This is a medium one. This is what I'm going to use today. And we'll start standing. And I'm just going to put this band around the back of my neck. Now, if you have a strap or a belt, you can use that here in the beginning as well for the stretch portion. But I'm just going to come maybe about hip width apart here, making sure that my big toes are in alignment, and I'm soft in the knees and soft in the tailbone. So that just means that I'm standing in a neutral alignment. So when I have locked knees, my hip wants to come forward into an anterior tilt. I don't want to be slumped here. So I'm nice and soft and I'm standing nice and tall. Good. So from here, just take a big inhale, reach up overhead, and then turning the palms away, grow taller from crown to tail as you press down those arms. We'll take that again. Big inhale, take it up overhead, reach. Turning the palms away, growing taller from crown to tail. Good. Now, this time we're going to add a little squat onto that. So big inhale, we'll reach. Exhale, taking it down, pressing through, coming all the way up. Inhale, exhale, taking it down, pressing through. Now, keep this movement slower if you need to. Otherwise, you can move through this just a little bit faster, as long as it's okay for you. So watch your knees, watch your hips. Sometimes they don't like faster. Sometimes they don't like things too deep. So we just work and we move and we practice where we are in the moment. Good. And then from here, coming all the way up and taking it all the way out. Good. Now, this is warming up the shoulders. It's also a core exercise. So we're going to take our arms out to the side and we're going to make some little circles here. So what you want is you want to try and keep the rib cage in. So we don't want to flap or flop here. So you want to keep that in and nice and engaged. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, let's take that into some big circles here. Again, you can move slow. You can move faster. So they should start to kind of feel the burn a little bit here, getting nice and warm. Good. And then bring them back out. Now let's reverse, taking it in the opposite direction. I already forgot what direction I was going in, so just try to do something that feels like you didn't do it that way before. Good. And then there we go. And then just take that in the opposite direction. Notice how range of motion might be different for you in one direction versus the other. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good. We'll come into goalpost if you're a football person, or scarecrow if you're a Halloween person, and we'll come in together and open. So again, just like with the arm circles, you want to try to keep the rib cage in, so you don't want to pop anything out or around. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, we'll come open. And then if it's safe for you, you can just kind of come forward and coming back up. Good. And coming forward. This will not be real comfortable to most people. And take that up. We'll take the hands behind. Good. Now I'm just resting the hand on the top of the hips, and I'm just going to let this elbow and shoulder kind of come inward for a little rotator cuff stretch. Back to center, same thing on the other side. We're just letting it come in and come open. Good. Let's go ahead. Let's take some heel taps here, coming into a little bit of footwork. So just to kind of give you a side view, I'm just tapping my heels. Good. Now I'm going to come to a toe. Now I'm really pointing my toe. Good. I'm just going to turn this way. Good. Now see if you can point out to the side a little bit here. Good. Breathe. Good. Now, from here, come to march, 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 march. Stand on one foot. It doesn't matter what side you started with. Just find your balance and bring that down. March, 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 march. Other side. Good. And we'll do this a couple more times. So notice how the front body has to fire up. Your core has to fire up to pick up your leg. Good. And one more time. Good. And take that down. Good. Okay, let's get into the band now. So a strap is also optimal here, or a belt. I'm going to thread my strap between my pointer and my thumb. And we're just going to get into a little bit of Pilates vitality wheel here. So I'm going to kind of come out wide. I'm not necessarily pulling on it, but I'm going to come up. Good. And maybe while we're here, maybe we take it just a little bit behind us. Again, try not to pop out the rib cage. And then from here, I'm going to reach. I'm going to rotate to my left. And as I reach, I'm going to bend my knees, coming down, moving through center, rolling up onto the other side. Good. And then we'll take that and reverse. Belly button stays in. Think about zipping up from the pubic bone to behind the navel. If you're not sure what that means, think about belly button into the spine. Good. We're just kind of warming up through some movements here. Good. And coming back up to the top. Good. We'll take this down. Now, we are going to use this for a little bit of resistance here right off the bat. We're going to come into some bicep curls. So I'm going to take my band. Now be mindful here, if you've got your band, this is going to work better if you've got a longer band. If your band is really short, this may not work very well. So I'm going to take my band to the floor. I'm going to take my foot's got that band. I've got equal parts of my band on each side. Okay, good. Now, I'm going to kind of come a little bit more into, in yoga, a warrior one. So I'm just going to anchor this back heel down here. Good. And I'm going to just kind of take this back hip forward. So then when I do that, my front hip comes backwards. Good. I'm zipping up through the front body. Good. I'm going to press back through that back heel. I'm going to lean. Now, the more you choke up on your band, the more resistance you're going to have. Okay. And some of you might do better just being up here, and that's okay too. But I'm going to turn my palms forward. My elbows are in, and I'm going to bicep curl. Okay. Now, this is also one of those things where you might try out different resistance in the bands. Do you need a lighter one, a medium one, which is what I'm working with, or a heavy one? Now, keep going here if you can. Those of you that don't have a band, you're going to make a fist, and you're going to pretend like you've got that resistance to get your bicep curl and release. This can also be done with small hand weights as well. Good. Good. So now we've got this. We've done some bicep curls. Good. We're going to take the palms. I'm facing myself, and I'm coming out to the side. Good. So I'll give you a different perspective in which to look at that. Good. Good. So I am bending my elbows out to the side, and I'm breathing, and my belly button is in to protect the low back here. Good. So 6, 8, 10 or so is a good number. If that's not where you are, you do what you can and don't worry about the rest. Remember, pain is not normal. So if you feel that at any point, we want to back off or stop entirely. Good. And then from here, we're going to use this as a little hamstring stretch while we're up here. So keep some softness in this knee. I'm still pressing through that back foot. Good. And then from here, I'm just going to hinge. Now, some of you might need to take hands to the thigh for a little bit of support. That's okay. The deeper you fold in, the deeper that stretch will be. But keep a long spine. Good. And then from here, put a bend in that front knee, and we'll come out of there. Other side, and then we're going to start to come to the ground and get into some deeper work. So I'm just going to turn this way. So again, You want that band to be nice and flat under the foot. I'm going to step my other foot back. I'm anchoring it down. You want bands to be equal length on both sides. Good. My front hip's going to come back, so my back hip's going to come forward a little bit here. I've got some softness in that knee. Good. Now, this time, instead of a bicep curl where palms are facing forward, we're going to take this more into a hammer bicep curl. So now your palms are facing in towards each other. Good. And then you'll bicep curl here. Now, there's also different ways you can make this more challenging outside of changing your band. So the more you take your elbows forward, not exceeding shoulder height, the more challenging you make it. The more you bring your elbows in, the less challenging you make it. Not to mention choking up on your band. So experiment, play with you where you need to be. Yeah. All right. So from here, when you're ready, good. I'm going to take this forward just so you can see better. So we're going to go to that side lift. So this time, instead of bending the elbows out, good. I've still got that same grip. So my palms are still facing behind me. I'm going to just come out with longer arms. But you want to keep a little micro bend in the elbows here. So you're just working just a little bit differently now. Stay with the breath. Belly button is in. Good. We've done about 6, 8, or 10 of these. Good. We're going to come into that break. So from here, when you're ready, we're going to get that hamstring stretch here. So from here, with a little micro bend in that front knee. So this is locked, this is soft. We want it to be soft. I'm just going to hinge forward. I'm pressing back through that back heel. Hands can come to that thigh for support. Long spine. And again, the deeper you fold here, the bigger that stretch, but be mindful as to where you can go. Breathe. Good. And then when you're ready to come out of here, put a bend in that front knee and we'll come out. I'm going to step off of this band. I'm going to place the band close by. We'll come back to it. And I'm going to come back to my space. Good. So from here, feet can be together. They can be hip width apart or Pilates V. V is going to be the most challenging. Hip width apart is going to be the easiest. So practice where you need to practice here. I'm zipping up. Big inhale, reach and lengthen. Arms are going to stay by the ears. Exhale, I'm really going to seize curve, really scooping that belly button in. Now, it's better to get into the habit of bending the knees and coming forward versus hinging the hips all the way back here. So we want to try and keep the hips over the ankles as best as we can. And I'm probably going to do that better if my feet are hip width apart. Good. Go to your limit. And then once you've reached your limit, think about a downward pressure from the hip into the feet, rounding from the spine, coming all the way up. When you come all the way up, we'll reach, reach, reach. Let's open to the side. A little bit of a back bend here. Should feel good after some of that shoulder and arm work. And we'll take it up. Good. Last time, really roll, roll, roll. When you come down to the floor, we're going to walk it out. Good. Find a plank pose. Are you going to be a lifted plank? Are you going to be knees down plank? So find yours. Belly button is in. So I'm breathing. I'm not holding my breath, even though I'm holding the plank. I'm pressing again into the knuckles of the pinky, the pointer, and the thumb here. And I'm trying not to let my shoulders and upper body collapse. Good. Let's take 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We'll lower those knees down. If you need to come back for a little child's pose here, let's find it. You can always cupcake the fingertips. Good. Coming back forward here, finding all fours. Good. Just a few little cat-cows. So big inhale, shine the heart forward, tip the pelvis back. Exhale, and we'll round. Inhale, take it forward. Exhale, and roll around. One more time. Good. Now, we're going to go back into balance. We're going to go back to core. So I'm going to start by taking the ball of my left foot back, and then I'm gonna let that left hip drop slowly. Good. And then my right arm's gonna come forward. Good. So once I'm set here, you can lift. Good. We're gonna round 3 times center. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, elbow, knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. If that's where you need to stay, you'll stay there. Others will follow me. We're going to take it out to the side and lengthen. So from a different view, think about it this way, to the side and lengthen. To the side, whew, and lengthen. One more, to the side and lengthen. Good. Stay with the round through center or find diagonal. So coming out to the side, whew, and coming back in. To the side, diagonal, and come back in. Last time, to the diagonal, come back in. I'm going to take my hand down. I'm going to cross this leg over the back leg. I'm going to press back through that heel. And I'm just going to come down here a little stretch. Good. Coming back up. Good. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And we're going to kind of do just a little side bend here. As you do the side bend, I'm going to my left. Think about squeezing the low rib cage and the top of the hip together. So a little squeeze and come to the other side, looking over that other shoulder. Squeeze and to the other side. Squeeze to the right. Squeeze. Last time through to the left. Squeeze and to the right. Good. We're going to take that all on the other side now. So from here, now I'm going to take the right foot back. I'm grounding down through big toe and pinky toe mound. I'm letting that right hip drop. Good, just a little bit. Left arm's going to come forward. Good. So we're going to start with that elbow to knee. So we'll get a little bit of a lift. Good. Really press away with supporting shoulder. Inhale. Exhale and round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. One more. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Stay with those, or we're going to take it to the side and lengthen. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Go back to elbow the knee or find your diagonal and to the diagonal and come back. To the diagonal. Come back. Diagonal. Come back. Woo. Diagonal hold. I'm going to take this hand down. I'm going to cross this leg over that back foot. Pressing back, staying here, or coming down. And when you're ready, we'll come up, we'll come back. Let's take a child's pose here. So just maybe cupcaking the hands a little bit if you need to. Breathe and expand. Good. And we're going to come right forward. Good. And I'm just going to come to a seat. And we're going to go right onto some side lying work here. Now, we're going to start with a clam. So there's a couple ways you can do the clam, or a few ways really. So if you're a little bit more of a beginner, you can be down here kind of supporting yourself. Your knees are going to be bent. Think about shoulders and hips in alignment. Okay. It's a little bit more challenging if you're up on the shoulder because you have to lift also through the rib cage in addition to not kind of hanging down into the shoulder. So you want to be completely lifted. You can also be up here. Everything else is the same. You want to be lifted in the rib cage. You want to be lifted in the shoulder. I'm going to demo down here, but you always take your practice to the level that you need it. We're going to take 8 times. So I'm just going to kind of make sure that my inner arches of both feet are together. And I'm going to open and close. And 7 and 6 and 5 and 4. Belly button is still in here. 3, 2, and 1. Now you have the option to change it up. You can do what you just did, or maybe a little bit of support. Good, maybe knees or ankles come up to in the air, and then we'll open from here for 1, 2, 3, 4. Think about this glute back here. Whew. I think we're on 6 and 7 and 8. And yes, it is normal for the other glute to feel some work here as well. Good. So now what we're going to do is your bottom knee can stay bent, especially if you're more of a beginner, or you can take it long if you have more experience. But we're going to keep this front knee bent here. So I'm going to just kind of lift just a little bit, just so that my hip, knee, and ankle are in a line with all each other with the hip. Good. Think about hip height, hip height, hip height. Good. And then we'll open here and close. And open 2 and close. And 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Good. From here, just extend that leg long. Good. Now we're going to come into some big circles here. Now, the thing about your circles, you can take these smaller as well, which isn't necessarily easier, but we're looking for stability in the pelvis. So we don't want the pelvis rocking back and forth here. Try to keep it in that hip socket. Try to think about 6 to 8 circles in both directions. Yes, glutes are getting kind of on fire here. Hips are getting tight. They're getting good work. And then when you're ready, reverse that direction. And when you've done your 6 to 8 here, we're going to bend that knee in, maybe pat something up. Good. From here, we're going to take both legs long. Good. So I'm going to reach, and lengthen. I want to find a little bit more length in my trunk as well. Good. And we're going to lift both legs. And the top leg's going to come up. It's going to lower, and then both legs lower down. Just 6 of these. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Lift, lift, lower, lower. I think that's the last one. Lift, lift, lower, lower. There is a running joke in the Pilates world that we are horrible counters, just so that you know that. We are going to come over now. We're going to bend this top knee. Whew. And then carefully come back up. Reach that leg through, and we'll hug in. Good. So with this nice little stretch here, we're going to do another little stretch here. We'll do some seated forward work, and then we'll take that to the other side. So what I'm going to have you do here, and I'm just going to keep showing you this from this angle. I'm just going to take this ankle over. So I'm right up above my right knee here. I'm going to take hands behind, so I'm supported. I'm going to bring this leg in. So now I'm in a different kind of a figure 4, if you will. So you're probably already feeling a stretch here in this hip. And then you can wiggle, wiggle, wiggle a little bit. Good. Now, moving on from here, some of you will stay for sure. Others that are okay with it. So be mindful with your body. You might come forward. You might pick this up. You might kind of cradle it a little bit. So this will not be appropriate or accessible to everybody. So be mindful of what your body tells you can do. Remember, pain, numbness, tingling, burning, never normal. And then from here, I'm just going to let that knee kind of re-support this ankle, coming back, and then I'm going to undo. And then maybe getting a big windshield wiper here from side to side. Okay. So my belly button is still in here, even with this wiper. I want my low back protected. Good. Now, from here, I'm just going to swing this way. We're going to take our legs long. Good. So we're going to practice some spine roll forward, and we'll get back into upper body. So have your band close by. Good. Well, take your legs out as maybe about as wide as your mat, or if you're not practicing on a mat, think about a little bit wider than hip width apart. Good. You can always sit up on something here too if your hamstrings are tight. But I'm coming into an anterior tilt of the pelvis. So the tailbone comes back, the hip bones are rocking forward. I'm sitting nice and tall. My knees are slightly bent here. My hamstrings are a little tight today. So big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, arms forward. Good. My palms are facing down. I'm really going to think about that C curve scoop. Think about that standing roll down that we did as I round forward. Good. So I'm not trying to do this. I'm not hinging forward. I'm trying to really get that scoop. Think about one vertebrae at a time. Good. Or another visual, think about tug of war. You're the anchor. You've got that rope around your waist. You're kind of folding over it. And then once you've gone to your limit, starting from the tailbone, you're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Think about bone by bone. Good. And we'll relax. We'll go again. Big inhale. Exhale, round, round, round. Good. And coming all the way back up. Good, let's go again. Good. So when you're not so much in the beginning, but definitely as you become more body aware and how things are supposed to feel, and you're really tapping into that core connection, you really feel this one in the core, okay? So from here, let's go into a little bit of a twist. So I'm going to take hands behind the head on this one. I'm pressing the head into the hands. Hands are not pressing into the head. Elbows are going to come out to the side, but they don't have to be their absolute widest. So you still want to be able to just relax through those shoulders. And then from here, both hip bones are going to stay grounded. I'm going to go to my left and to my right. I'm still nice and tall. To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We'll come back to center. So we're going to put that fold and that twist together into saw. So the best way to demonstrate that is for me to turn this way just so you can see it a little bit better. Good. So arms are out to the side now. Remember, hip bones, sits bones are going to stay connected the entire time. I'm nice and tall. I'm going to rotate to my right. I'm going to reach and round. So think about that forward fold. And then I'm going to come back up. And then I'm going to rotate into the twist. Reach and round. Think about pinky finger sawing off the pinky toe and come back up. And we'll reach and round and come back up. Last time this way. Rotate, reach and round and come back up. We're going to add that on with the band. Good. So the band's going to get a little bit more shoulder stretchy in here. You can do this with a non-stretchy strap, but you'll have limitations with that. So from here, I'm going to thread mine through the pointer and the thumb. Good. I'm going to reach forward. Good. From here, I'm going to rotate. Now, I'm rotating to my left. I'm going to reach with my left hand. I'm still rounding. I'm taking it back with my right hand. So now my strap is long, okay? I'm going to come up. I'm going to take that strap with me. I'm anchoring down here with the hand. I'm going to cross body. I'm going to open and look. Careful, make sure the band is not around your neck. And then we'll come up. We'll rotate and come back to center. And we'll go back to the other side. So we'll rotate. Good. I'm going to reach from both ends. I'm going to anchor around and reach, coming up, and we'll open and come back and around and come back center. We'll do that one more time each side. You can always adjust where you need to adjust. You can be wider or shorter here. So I'm going to rotate. I'm going to reach and lengthen. I'm anchoring that back hand. I'm coming up. I'm opening and coming back and around and come back center. Last time, last side. We'll rotate. Good. I'm reaching. I'm anchoring. I'm rounding. I'm coming up and opening. Good. And coming back and round. And coming back to center. Good. All right. Continuing in with some upper body and core work here. I'm going to take my band around my feet. Good. Make sure that band is nice and flat around the feet. Depending on how long your band is, some people can do a wrap around here. My band isn't quite that long because I got it for a shorter person. So I've got it nice around flat on my feet. So make sure that you want it flat. If it's bunched up here, it can roll, snap, and hit you in the face. You'll have a bad day. Again, you can wrap around here if you want to. Don't have to. Watch your grip. The higher you go towards your toes, the harder this becomes. So from here, and I'm actually going to choke up a little bit here. I'm going to take my arms long, and I'm just going to pull straight in. Good. And I'm just going to pull straight in. Kind of think about a row. My elbows are in. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades when I take my elbows back. Think about the same resistance when your arms are forward as they are when you pull back. So you don't want to just snap it back forward. You want to keep that work going in both directions. Good. Good. Now we're going to alternate. I'm going to pull in to my right. And this is my left, excuse me. I'm pulling into my left. I'm rotating left. I'm coming back center. I'm going to pull to the right, rotate right, and back center. Good. Pull and rotate, and center. Belly button is in. Pull and rotate, center. Pull and rotate, center. Pull and rotate, center. Couple more times. Pull and rotate, center. Pull and rotate, center. Last time through, last set. Pull and rotate, center. Pull and rotate, center. Good work. Okay, from here, I'm going to hinge back just a little bit. I'm keeping a nice long spine, so I don't want to collapse through here. I want to be nice and supported. Belly button is in nice and tight. If you have osteoporosis or something like that in your low back, proceed with very, very cautious movement. And you may even want to do this one without the band, so just kind of be mindful. So from here, I'm going to rotate and open. Good. And come back center. So this is similar to what we did standing, but I'm rotating now and pulling. And we'll rotate and open and come back. And rotate and open. Good. You can change your grip to make it harder or easier. Rotate and open. Let's take this one more time each side. Rotate and open. And rotate and open. Woo! All right. We're going to get into biceps and triceps now. So I've got my bands here. You're going to choose palms towards the ceiling or come back into that hammer curl and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to lengthen. I'm going to come up. I'm going to hinge forward. Now put a little bend in your knees. Tricep kickbacks here. My spine is long. I'm going to choke up a little bit here, and I'm going to pull back. My elbows are in. Good. Now I'm going to press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And carefully release, and we'll come up. Good. From here, let's roll down here before we make our way to the other side. And I'll show you a little prep that you can do with this roll down as well. So if you're only practicing the roll down, you won't need the assist of the band because the purpose of the band with this is to help you come back up. But remember, there's different levels. Maybe your bent knees, you're holding on, or you're taking your arms long. Maybe you're just going back to your level, and then you're coming back up from here. Okay, so you want to think about that deep C curve again. Okay. So again, legs can be long. Maybe you come back part of the way and come back up. Maybe you come back all the way. Maybe you want to come back all the way and only do your roll up. And if that's the case, from here, you'll just roll over to your side. You'll come back to a seat and start to roll down again. So you've got your full roll up here, big inhale, I'm zipping up, exhale, I'm reaching, I'm still favoring my left side, my legs are still coming up, but that's okay. So just know that As you progress here, you're trying to come up through center, and you're trying not to use momentum, which is this. You can see I didn't use my core at all. My legs didn't come up and didn't go to the side because that was super easy. I didn't really do any work. So make your core work, practice that forward and back. So if you're going to use the band to help you here, and you actually do get a little bit of resistance as you roll down as well. Good. So you're rolling down. Okay. And then inhale, exhale. If you're coming back up with a band, reach, reach, reach. Good. So I'm a little bit better with the band. I notice I'm favoring that left side, and you can come back up. So this can be a nice little training tool for some people. Some people don't like the band at all, and that's okay, but just know that this is available to you if you want to try it, but try a few of those. Yeah, a little bit better than my first one, but I'm fighting for it. I'm fighting for it. I'm fighting for it. And you can even come into a little bit of a forward fold here, and maybe one or two more. So everybody's going to do a different number. Everybody works at a different pace. For some of us, 1 or 2 is all we can do, and we're happy with that. Whew, there I am favoring again. Others can do 6 or 8 in the amount of time frame that I've gone here, and then they're happy with that, and that is all good. We practice where we can practice. Okay, let's come down, and we're going to work on the other side. So I'm sidelined now on my other side. So remember, you can be on the forearm, you can be up here, you just want to be lifted through the rib cage, lifted through the shoulder, or you can follow me and come down. Otherwise, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to set up for our clam. Think about shoulders and hips being in alignment. Hand can be up here or down here. Good. So feet are going to be grounded. Engage those inner arches of both feet. And drawing up and in, we're going to open once, 2, 3, 4. Good. Watch the core. 5. That outer glute. 6, 7, 8. Woo, give yourself a little break. You can do another round of those, or maybe the ankles are going to come up in the air this time. And we open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Woo. From here, bottom knee can stay bent, or you can extend it long. We're just going to keep this top knee bent, and we're going to open by itself for 1, 2. Think about hip height. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Whew. Both legs can go long, or maybe you keep that bottom leg lengthened or bent. Good. So from here, good. We're going to take that leg up and around. Good. Try to get 6 to 8 circles. Good. So remember, smaller circles can be challenging as well, but we're going for range of motion here where we are in control. So you don't want the hip bones to be moving around. We're staying in the socket. So 6 to 8 in one direction. Good. And then maybe 6 to 8 in the opposite. Good. So this is definitely my tighter side. I can feel it. Good. Good. And then from here, just kind of bend in that knee. Whew, take that foot down. Get a little stretchy. If you need to kind of bend it in this way and get a little stretchy, you can. Good. We've got one more exercise here. So we're going to lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Good. So we're going to lift, 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 lower, lower, lift, lift, lower, lower, lift, lift, lower, lower, lift, lift, lower, lower. Let's do one more. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Whew. I'm going to bring this back in again. Pack that out. Good. Carefully press yourself up. Good. And just give yourself a nice big hug in. Whew. And so we're going to continue to stretch out that hip here. And then we'll get into some more ab work. So from here, I'm just going to demo it from this angle. So you still got your ankle over the knee here. So I'm just going to kind of pull mine in just a little bit, just to a little bit better place. I'm going to take hands behind for support. My belly button is in. Good. I'm going to bring in this knee here. So you're in kind of a different style of a figure 4. You can stay here and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle side to side. Remember, a lot of you may stay right here. You're not going to move on, and that's okay. We do what we can. Good. And then those of you that are moving on, maybe you can come up, give that leg a hug, and rock, rock, rock. This one took me a while to master with the flexibility. So don't rush your body to do something before it's ready. Good. And then from here, I'm just going to let it rest back right above that knee and take it back. Good. I'm going to undo. Good. Now we'll come into a bigger windshield wiper going from one side to the other side. Good. All right. From here, whenever you're ready, I'm just going to slide over here. We're going to come onto our back now. So as we come onto our back, good. Again, have your band nice and handy here. Rolling the shoulders back. We're going to do a couple bridges. And actually, let's work through some dynamic bridges today since we have our band. So this can also be done with the strap. Good. And I'm just going to tighten this up a little bit here. I folded mine in half. Good. So I'm holding on right to the edge. Good. So from here, good. Your feet, hips, knees are hip width apart. I'm going to press evenly into both feet. I'm reaching my arms long. And as I lift my hips to the ceiling, I'm going to lift my arms. And you're going to take this back to your range of motion, which may not be all the way back. Okay. So be mindful where you need to be. And then I'm going to reach and I'm going to take this down. One more time. Lift and reach. And taking it down. Changing it up just a little bit. So from here, I'm going to reach long. Now I'm going to rock the pelvis back, peeling up one vertebrae at a time as I take it back. And then I'm going to lower that back one vertebrae at a time as I slowly take it back forward. Let's take that one more time. Good. So you're reaching, you're rocking the pelvis back, you're peeling up one vertebrae at a time, taking it back to your body's limits, and then rolling down bone by bone, one vertebrae at a time as you come all the way down here. Good. We'll leave this to the side. We're going to go into hundreds here. So feet can be grounded, knees can be in tabletop or your long diagonal line. You choose. If you want to bring in your resistance from the band here, good. I'm going to do tabletop, and I've got my band under my shins, and then I'm crisscrossing my band on top here. Okay, so your legs have to be together for this one. The other thing is, so when you're doing your pulses, you're pulsing with your band. Don't let this happen. Okay, so if you can't keep from this, you're not ready for the band here. But whenever you're ready, we're going to zip up. Big inhale, exhale, nod through the chin, belly button is in. Reach long and strong and low. And we'll inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lift higher. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, reach deeper. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, hold. Exhale, take that down. Whew. So if you use that band, we'll place that to the side. We're going to prepare for our series of 5 here. Now, we're going to attempt to do this for a little bit more of endurance and a little bit more challenge. So we're going to try this as a continuous flow. If continuous flow is not where you need to be, you need to take a break at any time, please, please, please honor yourself and do so, especially if you start to feel tension and funny business in the neck. Please come out of the C curve. So we're going to start. I'm going to count from 12, okay? But you stop when you get to your magic number, 10, 6, 8, 4, wherever you need to go. So from here, I'm going to inhale, take my arms up. Exhale, come into the C curve. I'm reaching and pulling in my left knee or my right knee. Left leg's going long, and switch. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, belly button in. 7, hips stay grounded. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Single leg stretch, scissors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Double leg stretch. Inhale, exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm feeling it now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Double straight leg stretch. Lift 1, 2, 3. C curve or lower. 4, 5. Watch how low you go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Getting harder. 11 and 12. Going right into the crisscross. 1, 2. Elbows out. 3, 4. Lead with shoulder. 5, 6. Hip bones grounded. 7, 8, 9. Smile. 10, 11, 12. Woo! Take that in. Rock, 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 side to side. Maybe sigh in relief that that part's over. Challenging, but such good work. Okay, let's stretch out a little bit here. We'll do this with the band or the strap. I'm going to take this band around the center part of the left foot. I want equal band on both sides. And yes, we're going to come into a twisty here with this series. So be mindful, but there's a reason why we're using the band. I'm just going to scoot out just a little bit here away from my wall. Good. So your other leg can be bent or extended long, depending on how you feel. Find a grip that's appropriate, being mindful you're in a stretchy band here. So there is some movement and give. Softness in that knee. Could you breathe and expand and find a little length here? Length from crown to tail, that is. Heart rate gets up a little bit with that continuous series of 5. Maybe a little sweat, but that's good. We should all do something that makes us sweat just a little bit or glow a little bit each day, detoxing those pores. Good, and we'll release. Good. I'm going to take both bands into the left hand. Both hips are going to stay grounded, as is both shoulders. And I'm just going to let that leg come out to the left. Good. Now you can stay here. You want something extra, you can tug in towards that left shoulder. Good. And then from here, we'll come up. Good. From here, I'm going to switch hands. And you might have to move your leg around here to find the sweet spot. And maybe some of you stay with a long leg or a bent knee in about the 45-degree angle. Maybe some of us come all the way over into that twist, trying to keep the leg in line with the hip. So we don't want the foot to fall willy-nilly on the floor. We want that belly button to be in to protect these SI joints here of the low spine, maybe looking opposite direction. Good. We'll come back up here. Good. So I'm going to bend this knee. We're going to do just a little bit of a press here. I'm going to wrap my bands around my wrist here. I do recommend doing it for this one. So this is where maybe for some of you, you bring in a heavier band versus a medium or a light. It all depends on your strength. And then driving through the heel and the glute, you're just going to press long And then you're going to resist as you come back in. Careful not to lock the knee when you take this forward. And 3, belly button stays in. 4, 5, and 6. Press, press, press. Good. Last time, bring it in a last little hammy stretch. And when you're ready, we're going to switch sides. So I'm just going to do a little mid-air switcheroo here. Again, make sure the band is nice and flat around the foot. We don't want any accidents to happen. A bent knee or a lengthened leg, choose what's appropriate for you. And then find your range of motion for your hammy stretch on this side. Belly button is in, maybe a little micro bend in that knee. Now noticing already any changes you might have to make. So I can't stay with the straight leg on the other side. I have to bend that knee a little bit here. Remember, perfection is not our goal. Our goal is to meet ourselves where we are in the moment in order to get the maximum benefit of the exercise. For example, I could practice this and look picture perfect all day, but if I'm not engaging my core or different places where I should, it's just a silly picture. And then from here, we'll just release. Good. Both straps into that hand, and we'll take that leg out to the side. Both hips, both shoulders stay grounded. Good. You can tug in towards that shoulder if you want something a little bit more special. Good. And then we'll bring that leg back to center. Good. So we'll extend the other leg long. Good. You're going to find where you take this for you. So you can do the 45-degree arc over, bent knee, lengthened leg. You might have to move the leg around to here a little bit to find your sweet spot, or you can take it over, full twist, keeping leg in line with the hip, maybe looking to the right. Breathe and expand. Good, and when we're ready, we'll come back into center. Good. Now I'm going to take a band in each hand. Good, I'm just going to go ahead and bend my other knee for support. I'm going to bend my band knee as well. So remember, the more you choke up, the harder you make it, as well as the type of resistance on your band. Hip, knee, and toe are going to track. Driving through heel and glutes, you'll press, and you'll control it when you come back in. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. We did it today, but there are also ways you can bring in your band for side lying leg series 2 that are also really, really nice. Good. So I'm going to bring my foot out of my band. Good. Let's get a full body stretch here. Really reach from the edge of the fingers to the edge of the toes. Maybe point and flex those feet. Roll the wrists and ankles in one direction and then in the other. Good. Carefully bend in one knee. And we're going to roll over onto our belly. So now we're going to get into a little bit of an extension work here before we go. This should also feel good to the front side of the body after all of those abdominal works that we did. So I'm going to take my hands down. Good. I'm going to take them a little forward into the side of my shoulders. Elbows are going to lower. I'm going to lengthen, belly button in. Good. Pubic bone into the mat. From here, you're going to choose where you go. Is it going to be a little bit? Is it going to be a little bit more? Is it going to be a lot? Relaxing through shoulders. And we'll come back down. Good. We'll take that again. Lengthen, belly button in. Good. Go to your level. If the low back feels like it's crunching or you can't stay out of the shoulders, AKA this, you're up too high, and we'll lower. And we'll go one more time. Lengthen, belly button in. Good. Taking it up. And lower down. Good. Let's get a little quad stretch in here. So I'm going to just take my left arm forward. I'm going to bend that right knee. I'm going to reach around. I'm going to grab a foot, an ankle, or pants. You can always grab pants. I'm just going to kind of let everything settle here for a moment. I'm going to lengthen. I'm going to squeeze that right glute, taking that right foot straight up to the ceiling, maybe even a little shoulder stretch here with it, rolling that right shoulder back. And I'll lower that back down and release. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Going into the other side. So your right arm's just going to be here somewhere, bending that left knee, reaching around, grabbing pants, an ankle, a foot. Let everything kind of settle here for a moment. Good. Think about length in the low body. Belly button is in, squeezing that left glute. Left foot's going to come straight up, rolling left shoulder back. Good. And lower down and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. From here, hands under the shoulders. We're going to come back up. Good. Find all fours. So we're going to do some sternum drops here, getting into some scapular mobility. So from here, think about kind of what I say often not to do in certain poses, about not letting the shoulders come by the ears. Well, we're going to let that happen here. So as you let your sternum, your chest drop towards the floor, then your ears or shoulders have to come up by the ears. And then we're going to press away. Good. And then we'll drop and press away. And drop and press away. You can keep going with there. You want a little bit more challenge, you can take these onto the forearms. Or if you've got some wrist issues, this is a nice modification for that. Good. I'm going to come back up to all fours. We'll come into a thread the needle. So I'm going to take my right arm out to the side here. I want to try and keep hips over the knees as I thread underneath, coming through. Good. So I'm very careful with my neck. You kind of want that long line. So I don't want to kind of press here and do this little kink. Think about taking that top ear a little bit more towards the ceiling. This is why I don't teach taking that arm long in front anymore, because it's really, really hard to keep that neck in good alignment. When you do that, people tend to lose it when you take it forward. And then we'll press through and we'll come all the way back up. And we'll wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And we'll take that to the other side. So the left arm's going to come out, taking it through. Good. Again, think about that nice neck alignment. Breathe and expand. Belly button is in. And then when you're ready, we'll press up. We'll come back up here. Good. And just get some nice cat-cow movement again. Good. From here, we're going to end with a wag the dog as we make our way back up to standing. So from here, I'm just going to take my knee back just a little bit here from my hip, just so it's a little bit easier on my kneecap. And I'm doing this on my right side. So I'm just going to let that right foot come out to the right, and I'm going to look over the right shoulder. So coming back to that squeeze that we did in the beginning of the low rib cage and the top of the hip coming together. And then you'll just cross over and you'll see that to the other side. And then come to the right and to the left and to the right and to the left. We'll ground that down. We'll take that to the other side. So left knee is going to come back just a little bit more behind. Your belly button is still in here. Starting on the left side, left foot's going to come around, looking over the left shoulder, squeezing, and to the right, and to the left, and to the right, and to the left, and to the right, and to the left, and to the right. Whew. Round, round, round here. Good. From here, I'm going to take this band back again. I'm just going to take it right around the back of the neck, not the front of the neck, but the back of the neck. And then from here, I'm going to tuck the toes, and I'm going to find myself in a plank pose, drawing up and in. Good. Bending the knees or hinging the hips back, find a downward facing dog. And then with bent knees or longer legs, walk your hands back towards your feet. Think about stopping the hips over the ankles. Get into your feet. I'm just going to round the spine a little bit here as I press through. And come all the way back up to standing. Reach, reach, reach. And exhale, take that back down. Good. So from here, I'm just going to come back up here. We're just going to do one more little side bendy stretch here. So I'm going to take my feet inside the span. Good. I'm about hip width apart. You want equal band on both sides. So I'm zipping up, my knees are soft, my tailbone is soft. I'm going to just kind of take a little side bend over towards the left. Good, and I'm just letting that band give me that extra stretch. You're also kind of working your obliques here, and then I'm just going to slowly come back up and go to that other side. So I'm not pulling or tugging here. The movement of the body gives you the resistance with the band, and then I'm just going to come back, and we'll take that to the other side again. Good. And coming back up, and last time other side. Good, and coming back up here. I'm going to step out. Good. So from here, I'm going to use this band. We're going to use it to stretch. So feet about hip width apart. I'll come back a little bit here so you can see better. Taking it up, reach, reach, reach. And I'm just going to kind of come over and I'm just going to lower. So I'm stretching this side here and coming back up and to the other side. Good. Coming back one more time again. And coming up and other side. Good. From here, take it up, reach, 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 go to your limit, which may not be to the top of the hips. And coming back, we'll do that again. Taking it back, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, maybe the same. And coming back here. Good. From here, I'm going to take my band. I'm going to come forward. So a little bit tighter. And I'm just going to round. So when I round, I'm getting a little bit of tautness here on this band. Good. I've got a little bit of a bend in my knees here as well. And coming back up. Good. From here, you can take the band behind you. Good. Hands will come together. Good. Press down, roll the shoulders back, take it out this way. Good. And release. You can release that band. Just roll the shoulders in one direction and then in the other. And then coming back to the movement where we started, feet about hip width apart. Big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, take it down. Press through, come all the way up. Exhale, take it down. Come all the way up. Reach, 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 turning palms away, growing taller from crown to tail. Good. Do a little posture check. Think about ears, shoulders, hips, and ankles. Make any corrections to that posture and let it carry you for the rest of your week or until I see you again. Have a wonderful, wonderful day or evening or week ahead. See you soon. Bye-bye.